get started. The first thing is the high school competency determination. So the Department of Ed is requesting that we come up with a policy that has to be approved by the governing board of the school department, just to talk about competency determination since MCAS is no longer the requirement. Just a quick sub-note. The Board of Education and DESE are currently talking about end-of-course assessments being required now that the state would be developing. So we might do this and then they might shift everything anyway, but we have to have this in place before December 31st. So we just kind of wanted to get this in place just because I don't know their timeline on any of that. The high school has done a ton of work, and once we did that, Sean had then given me the template from MASC. So my biggest question, and I can talk to him too, is really the language that I kind of highlighted here was the original language, which is much more detailed than the MASC language. So the question is do we want to submit something that is not as detailed and just go with the MASC suggestion? And then if for some reason they ask more questions, we could provide them with more details. Because what we did was pretty much go by their template from the Department of Ed. So Robin, you know this best, so if you kind of want to walk us through the document, especially Lauren, where she's not as familiar with it. They gave us, like I said, the exact template. They gave us exactly what we need to put in the policy and what will be required from.
So see, the highlighted stuff is?
That was not in the MASC.
Not in the MASC, so that was added by us.
Right.
Based on the template from DESE.
Correct.
Okay.
So if I know the big conversation usually with the school committee is policy, the shorter the better. And the less specific the better. So we might want to just do the less specific first, and then if we get asked for more information, then we do the more detailed. I don't know. So Robin, I'll turn it over to you.
Sure. So we were just aligning competency determinations with the 2023 MCAS requirements, what they needed done by that point. So the grade 10 English, algebra, geometry, the 1 year of science. By 2027, MCAS was going to say U.S. history as well. So we incorporated that in.
Okay.
And to show mastery, just kind of the standard, the final assessment for the course that they passed and they did that. Or a capstone or portfolio project or an equivalent measure identified in the district's competency determination policy. So you can see this is just broken down with the coursework requirements. So again, the ELA, the math, the science and the U.S. history, starting with the graduating class of 2027. Just moving on to, I just pulled this out of our handbook, off explaining the courses that are in alignment with the state curriculum frameworks that meet the requirements of the ELA, the math, the science. So I just included that in there. Also, what courses would be considered.
Okay.
Then that's when we kind of move into all these additional information, because there's like students with disabilities, we have the appeals process, English language learners. So we just kind of went into even more detail here because, in my opinion, more is better, but I totally understand that we need that. It's kind of like my thing, because I just say too much, provide too much detail. And then we have the late enrolling students. The appeals process, we worked on very as a team with the student or parent caregiver should submit a request for an appeal to the principal or designee in writing. Then the principal or designee investigates and responds within 10 school days. So we were just trying to come up with how, if the appeal is denied, then they may appeal to the superintendent or designee. It was very interesting. In the template, they said those enrolled in Marshfield Public Schools in the classes of 2003 through 2024. Is that real? 2003? Is that? Right. So if they didn't pass the MCAS, and that's why their diploma, right,
Oh,
was withheld,
Yeah.
they can go
Okay.
all the way back, but we're
Good
just
for them.
having, right,
Yeah.
right, but like, how do we even, who do we know who to reach out to? People have moved, like, where do we even have these records at this point?
Right.
So then we just have the
But
steps.
it's not asking you to reach out to them, it's just saying.
No,
if they
yes,
show.
yeah, it's just interesting that we're
Yeah.
all in 2003.
Right.
What is this?
Yeah.
And then we just have down here, which Dr. Martin provided the legal references, the
Yeah.
cross references here.
That was MASC that
Oh.
provided that. They even gave us the policy IKFE.
Oh, thank you.
The file
Number.
So,
Okay.
yes, so I think the biggest question is, do we want to just stick with the MASC language and leave this out? Leave all of this out? I think the biggest thing is like, we actually somewhere in here put, did we put the base score?
No, I think we took it out, it was successfully completed, right?
Okay,
We were gonna
but then
have
we
it.
put, for ELs, we put which
Yes.
access scores,
Mhm.
like what are the cutoffs? The problem with putting in that much detail is if anything changes in the scoring of access
Yeah,
or
yeah,
something
yep,
else,
I
we would
agree,
have to
yeah.
come and redo the policy.
Right,
Right.
okay.
So that's why I'm leaning towards taking out everything in the yellow
Right.
and just leaving the basic, but that's kind of,
I mean, yeah, the less,
I know.
you know, then you have to go back and fix
Yeah.
it.
Right.
Yeah.
now that doesn't preclude us from having,
Mhm.
procedures in
Right,
place
correct.
separately somewhere, like.
Because if you have it in writing in here, then you have to abide.
Yes.
Correct.
Yeah.
And then if it
There's
ever
a
changed,
slight
you would have
change
to
Right.
go back.
And there's gonna be, I think there's gonna be lots of changes.
I think so.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Just looking again at what's highlighted,
Oh,
just
yeah.
to see if there's anything, but I think you're right. Yeah, okay, so,
I think it would just be anything that's not highlighted.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Because even when it comes to students with disabilities, like,
Yeah.
we get into, continuum of services, insurance, but it already says that we provide FAPE. So
Yeah.
it kind of covers us in
Yeah.
a little bit more general.
Yeah. Okay. I think that's safe.
Okay. This is on the agenda for tomorrow night.
Yeah.
So we can get 2 reads and get it submitted in case anybody on the committee would have other questions.
The only question I had was the community service being included in competency.
Because that's our graduation requirement, to have
Right.
the 20 hours, that's why we included it in the competency determination.
Is there a separate place where the requirements are? Because there's other requirements too, right, about like attendance and stuff? Gym?
No,
Or just
attendance.
nothing?
Well, we do have, we do
The
have.
number of credits and all of that.
Yeah.
You're right. So maybe,
Take that out.
Yeah.
we could take that out.
Just-
Because that could be,
Yeah.
because again, that could change,
You're right, that it could
Yeah.
change,
All right.
right?
So,
I was basing a lot on.
You're right, like 4 years of English, and whereas companies
Right.
really should.
Right, need that.
that's really the,
Two,
Right.
yeah.
right. Okay. All right. Anything else on that? All right, the other one, middle school pathways, that does not have, so MASS and MASC decided that they were not going to put forth any language because every district is so different. So this one, Patty did a ton of work following the template as it was laid out by Desi. And really, when you look at it, it's very, it's cut and dried. And a lot of these things were already in place.
Yeah.
And even though I did put in for an extension, it was due over the weekend, but I did put in an extension until December 31st, so that it would be on the same. But either way, we still have to have these things in place. Dr. Sullivan will sign an attestation form saying we have done all of these things, even though the policy may not be in effect yet. So
Okay.
that will be submitted along with this. So Patty, do you want to just run through this?
There are just certain requirements, and some of them are pretty easy for us to say that we're hitting them. Obviously, we have multiple schools that we're working with, So,
And I did pull out the agricultural schools.
I
I didn't
liked
keep
it. I
that
liked
with the
the setup,
CTE.
yeah.
I thought it was, and one question that did come up, but sorry to interrupt. We only listed what was chapter 74 at Marshfield High School, because someone brought up, well, don't we have culinary, don't we have
Yeah,
this?
yeah.
Those are not
Those
technically
aren't
chapter
chapter
74. So we only listed what was included in Desi's determination report.
So we have to make sure that we're obviously sharing information with students. So with the high school, we obviously we've listed, which ones. I mean, obviously we're going to talk about all options, but we would make sure that these are highlighted with the students. Same thing that we have to do for South Shore Rotec, and then with the agricultural schools as well. The career exploration, and this is really the area that is a little bit more challenging. The district has to implement a 6 through 8. They called it it's not like career exploration,
Guidance
but
program.
like, no, it's like CTE pathways, something that we had to implement. What that looked like, they made a suggestion that you use MyCap, which is a little bit of a stumbling block because of the physical platform that they use.
So students would have to have with MyCap, students have to have their own accounts, but they have to be their personal accounts.
If you do the free one.
If you do the free one. Yeah.
Otherwise, you do a paid program, like through Naviance or one of the platforms that the high school already uses. The other problem, and I brought this question up to Desi, is like if we're sending to multiple schools and they all use different platforms, now what? And they said that the answer that they gave me was that they should all use the same one, which essentially means because of the web of schools that the entire state would have to use the same one. So I'm going to a full day of MyCap training on Thursday to find out how they actually think we can make this happen.
Because after we asked multiple times, is this
requirement.
platform going to be a requirement? We were told repeatedly, it is not a requirement. But then a couple weeks ago, they came through with an email saying that this will be used by all districts by 27, 28. So I think they're changing their stance on whether it's a requirement. So in the meantime,
we've developed, or we're developing a 6 through 8 guidance curriculum. We're using what is listed in MyCap to then develop lessons that would meet the learning objectives that are met by MyCap.
and that's what this draft is. That's just in draft form right now, not done yet.
Yeah. So we are working on that. They've had 2 days of curriculum development on that. We have to show that we have this option, and ultimately students through that process are exploring what their different options are for the future. The other thing we need to do is make them aware of their different individual options. So we're doing that through offering in-school programming. So like South Shore Rotec will come and visit and do a presentation, which they're already doing. High school will do a presentation, which they're already doing. The additional
during the school day, yeah.
the additional, well, we always did the
We did a step
course,
day
yeah, we're just
spring.
sliding it back now. We also needed to add the option of letting them take tours during the school day. So the guidance from DESE required that the other district pay for transportation for that, which so far has been that's been a stumbling block for the agricultural schools. So they were not able to do that for us this year. But they're looking at what they might be able to do. South Shore Rotec did provide transportation. We did go to the high school.
Do all students have to go to the agricultural school, or just those who are interested?
Those who want to sign up. But not all students went to South Shore Rotec.
Gotcha.
They all had the option.
One question for you Patty, I was looking here, the annual school day presentations. Do we want to put in by any of the above schools? Like in case the agricultural schools end up doing the school day presentations?
I mean, it could be, I mean,
Just so that we don't have to come back. I'm just wondering
Yeah.
if any of the 4 schools listed above.
yeah. I mean, everyone's invited.
Right.
So I suppose maybe, yeah.
Yeah, I maybe rework that just to say like, they can, if the vocational, or if the agricultural schools would be able to do school day presentations, they're still, that would be, they would be part of that.
Yeah.
So maybe just to make it a little bit more general now that I'm reading it.
Yep. Okay, so very connected, yep. What else? In terms of information sharing, so collaboration with the member schools, so annually by October 15th, we now must provide the schools with the names, addresses. It actually didn't say email addresses, but that's essentially what they want. Of all enrolled 7th and 8th grade students. Traditionally, we've been sharing 8th grade, but we now have to share 7th and 8th grade. And also we'll need to give notice of a release of information and allow people to opt out. So I would love it if we could embed that in Aspen in the future, but we'll figure that out.
So is it are you signing a release or are you signing an opt-out?
An opt-out.
Okay,
So
so
we have to just
everyone
provide
can
them with the
opt out.
information that this is what we're going to do, and they
Okay.
can request that their information not be released.
Okay.
So we'll do that as we have to. Each year, all 8th grade students will have the opportunity to attend assemblies, like I said, on campus. We have to make sure that we've collaborated with the schools and programs by October 15th. We don't actually have to have the presentation, but we have to have worked with them around scheduling by that point. And again, we extend the invitation to the agricultural schools, but they haven't yet been able to do that. Should either school choose to present on campus, we coordinate it. And yes, and they provide the information about any programs and application process. The tours, like I said, we are coordinating that. We take care of all of the notice to families, going to South Shore, we had to make sure we had field trip permission slips, all of that. We provide nurses for our students if they can go. And it was not an excused absence.
And transportation is covered by the host school, because I know that'll be a question that comes up.
It is, I mean, but again, the agricultural school was unable to do it.
Right.
Schools. Let's see. Promotion of events, so we're sharing information about open houses through the school website, our regular communication channels, so we're putting it in our newsletter. It's going out directly from the guidance council for 8th grade, and we also had kind of a one-pager that kind of outlined all the fall activities for all 8th grade families to receive, so we sent that out via Thrillshare. The interviews, as we always have, we make arrangements with the vocational schools for them to come in, they conduct in-person interviews, we provide them with the space, and that has always been the case.
So they conduct the interviews for their schools at your school?
During the school day.
During the school day, and pull out a class for that?
Yes, yep, and that has been the way of it for a while, so it's not.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Online, we publish the options and the information that we're given. It's already on the website, so we've got it up there. We'll just continue to update that. And then admissions records, we'll provide information. We have to make sure that we're providing documentation of student interest, attendance records, and discipline records. So, and that there's very specific outlining of exactly what information we share and what we don't share in terms of attendance and discipline. It isn't the full record, it's only certain types of discipline and types of attendance. And then obviously we've got 1,000 different ways that we're keeping track of all of the things that we're doing. Yeah, the only part of this, I think, that is kind of the lingering issue is figuring out how we're actually implementing the curriculum.
So
grades 6 through 8.
I think for the sake of policy, we would end after maintenance of records.
Yep.
And then this would just be an appendix, like, because we don't want it part of the policy, because this is probably gonna change.
It's curriculum, yeah.
So, so I would.
So it has to go with
that
the
would just-
updated policy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Are you providing all of that documentation prior to them making a decision on the applicant? I thought it was a true lottery. Wasn't that part of the policy?
Well, they can, so
Whatever
they,
their policy is, I honestly have no idea.
and,
Policies.
no, they are doing a lottery, but I
Yeah.
believe they can
There's
weight
weighting.
things. So that's the other piece, so they have more leeway than I think.
So like discipline records, it's very specific. I don't even think, it's not even 37H and 3/4 violations. I think it's only 37H and a half, 37H that
Yeah.
we can release in terms of the weighting.
Gotcha.
Same thing with like attendance, it's like, there's a threshold.
So they say
I
lottery,
wanna
but
say
there's really no change.
I don't know how much they can weight. I don't know what they can weight or how much they can weight.
Yeah, it does, it
They
outlines
have to
pretty
have their
specifically
own
what they
policies
have to do.
now and make their own changes according to Desi's.
The attendance thing is, there's like a certain number of days that they waited or they don't, like, I want to say like 12 days or something, so it's not even like, yeah, so, I don't know exactly what they're supposed to look at. Whenever they need it, that's when we release it.
So,
Other things. I mean, the biggest change has really just been that we're spending a lot more time putting things on the website and advertising. And obviously the curriculum. But that's not really specific to the other schools.
So we covered everything.
So unless there's any questions, I'll take that off, I'll
Yeah.
update and remove this language, and that'll be what we present tomorrow night. And if you guys can go to school committee, that would be great. If you can't, that's fine too. I will be there, Lauren will be there, and it's pretty straightforward. They're telling us what to put in it, so
Right.
it is what it is.
I cannot go to.
Don't worry about it.
Sean will be there, he'll love to talk about that.
Yes, it'll be fine. He knows all. The only thing is I'm not sure what file to put on there. I'll have to look. There's probably one somewhere. I don't even know what section. I'm assuming it would be similar to, I don't know. So you can ask Sean's opinion on that.
Yep.
Right?
All right, yeah, great, thank you.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you.